Coming up on a brand new edition of Inside Israeli Basketball. Moving to an unknown country to play basketball can be challenging. Maccabi Haifa's Israeli players are helping their American teammates to adjust. Former Maccabi Haifa player Tamir Goodman is now adjusting to retirement. We catch up with the Israeli hoops icon as he talks about his plans for the future. The Super League features some of the best competition in the world. We learn why players choose to play here as an alternative to the NBA. Maccabi Haifa's season is now in full stride. A balanced and effective mix of offense and defense along with great guard play has gotten them off to a hot start. The Super League rolls on as more teams make their impact in the standings. We break down the competition so far. And we see what living in Israel is like as we spend a day with Maccabi Haifa's American-born players Todd Golden and Ben Strong. All that and more next on Inside Israeli Basketball. Hi everyone, and welcome to Inside Israeli Basketball. I'm Becky Griffin. When you have a team of individuals that come from different places and cultures around the world, how they interact off the court often has a direct correlation on their on-court performance. As this cohesiveness develops, individual talents can begin to have a greater impact within the team system. To jumpstart this process with Maccabi Haifa, some veteran Israeli natives quickly set out to teach their new teammates the ropes.
Basketball is international language. What I'm doing for bringing the team together is just try to help the foreigners, basically the Americans, when everything I can. If there is questions, sometimes invite them to dinner in my house, spend some time outside the court with them, telling them about the country and for general idea where they are. And I think it's not only me, it's all the Israelis.
First of all, it's always tough to come to a new country without knowing no one or only one player, and you have to try to adjust to the new situation. It's not easy. We try to do our best to help them.
There is two people that their job is to wait for them and to let them understand everything, all the information, all the details about the country and about the city. They take care of the apartment. They take care of the cars, mobile phone. They show them the cities where they can eat, where they can buy food.
Israel, for sure, it's a fantastic place for them because it's very similar to the state. They just need to adjust, and that's all. It takes like 2 weeks, a month. They're having good fun, you can ask them.
I was very surprised when I got here. A lot of nice restaurants, good social life, and it's just a nice town.
I didn't think it was going to be this beautiful and this nice. People are very good over here, very polite, very nice. I like it a lot.
I think that Israel as a country is really helping, especially Americans, because most of the people in Israel, they speak English. It's really like a Western country, and they can find here everything they need, even the same brands that they can find in the States.
American guys who come here, at home they are regular people. Over here, basketball is really the main event. So they come here and they immediately become stars, and if they are great, they're going to become superstars. And you feel it on the court, and you feel it outside the court, you feel it everywhere you go. People recognize you. It's a great feeling.
Man, when I came off the plane at the airport, they had cameras and fans there. Everybody shout, oh yeah. So I was shocked, man. I ain't know what it was. So everybody, they were interviewing me and the people was there, and all of a sudden one of the fans, he kissed me on my neck. I'm like, whoa, I ain't never had no guy kiss me before. They were like, oh, mwah. I'm like, whoa, I was kind of shocked, but it was okay. That was the only shock I had was at the airport. But once we got on the road, it was pretty cool.
It's our character as a country to hug every foreigner that come, to tell him, to show him, and to give him some good time in this holiday.
Up next, former Maccabi Haifa player Tamir Goodman is now adjusting to retirement. Tamir Goodman recently announced his retirement during a press conference at the Jewish Children's Museum in Brooklyn, New York. It was 10 years ago that the spotlight began shining on Tamir Goodman. The precocious 17-year-old hoop star gained national attention with the Sports Illustrated spread that would change his life. The article dubbed him the Jewish Jordan, a title Goodman still carries with him, for better or worse, after his playing days.
You know, I loved Michael Jordan growing up. I think, you know, when I was younger, before my knee surgeries and everything like that, I would dunk a lot in games, and I guess they weren't expecting someone to look like me and with a kippah on my head to be dunking on people in games, and it just caught their attention. It's not fair to be compared to Michael Jordan, and he was the greatest. I use it as a tool now to inspire others. You know, you look up to me because they call me the Jewish Jordan. Well, I'm going to use all that energy and give it back to you and say, I think you're great. How can I help you reach greatness in your life?
Baltimore native played college ball for Towson University and was grateful for the opportunity afforded to him by his teammates in university in respect of his Orthodox upbringing and his need to miss games on the Sabbath.
The hardest part for me was that I know a lot of people had to go all out of their way to accommodate me. But as far as Shabbat and all the Jewish restrictions were all blessings for me. We have a lot of laws and guidelines, and it could seem like impossible and very hard. But in truth, it's those laws and those guidelines that are the biggest blessing and help and direct you in every single way. So it was never a negative, it was always a positive.
Tamir now focuses his time to help Maccabi Haifa's Haifa Hoops for Kids program. Goodman hopes that he can help out unprivileged kids in Israel through the game that has brought so much to him.
I've played on the court, I lived out my dream, and now I'm going to take all my experience and everything I've gone through and use it as a tool to inspire others in many ways. Could be basketball players, could be special needs kids, could be victims of terror, could be underprivileged kids. Every basketball fan knows how much we love the game and how much good could come out of it. Just look, when someone makes a good shot in a game, you have 30,000 people screaming at the top of their lungs. They're just so happy. But to actually get more personal with those kids and not just let them watch you play from the stands, but contact them and have other players contact them and show them that players believe in them, that could really inspire them, and that could really break down any racial barriers or physical barriers. Or Judaism teaches us to use our physical talents to create a better spiritual world, and that's what we're trying to do through basketball and Haifa Hoops for Kids. And sports is a great thing. So many good things could be accomplished through sports, and to be involved with an organization and team such as Maccabi Haifa, that's a great team on the court, very attractive team to watch, so caring within communities in America and in Israel. It's just an absolute blessing, and it's just an absolutely beautiful, perfectly ordained career continuation for me.
Maccabi Haifa's first full month of games taught them a lot about where they were as a team and what adjustments they needed to make. Things got started against Maccabi Rishon.
After losing the first game of the season to Maccabi Tel Aviv, Maccabi Haifa made key adjustments that resulted in quality wins over Bnei Hasharon and Netanya. Davon Jefferson continues his dominance, leading the team with over 16 points and 8 rebounds per game. Haifa also worked on applying pressure and tightening up their defense. They allowed just 9 fourth-quarter points to close out a 77-67 victory over Hasharon. Haifa's guard play has been outstanding. Jason Rich has played a huge role on offense. He scored a season-high 25 points against Hasharon. Dror Hajjaj has been one of the great leaders on the floor, averaging nearly 6 assists per game. The offseason pickup from Maccabi Tel Aviv has been one of the best one-on-one defenders in the league. Maccabi Haifa is getting ready to face the roughest part of the schedule, with games against Ashkelon, Jerusalem, and Maccabi Tel Aviv.
When we return, the elite competition of the Israeli Super League and how Maccabi Haifa stacks up. Welcome back. Let's take a look inside the Israeli Super League season. And answers to preseason questions started rolling in during the first month.
As expected, the Super League has been filled with many spectacular moments and surprises through the first quarter of the season. Maccabi Tel Aviv, once again a powerhouse, winning their first 6 games of the season. They're averaging nearly 90 points per game. Gilboa Galil continued to impress, making noise at the top of the division with huge wins over Ashkelon and Jerusalem. The team is led by point guard Jeremy Pargo, brother of Gennaro Pargo of the NBA's Chicago Bulls. He's averaging an unbelievable 24 points per game. This year's Cinderella story, Netanya, with several upset wins, including an 84-72 victory over Jerusalem. Forward Marco Killingsworth, former hoop star of Indiana University, leads the team with over 20 points and 8 rebounds per game.
The Israeli Super League is the top tier of basketball competition in Israel. There are many unique rules. For starters, there's the Russian rule, which originated in the Russian League. Each team must have at least 2 Israeli players on the court at all times.
It's one of the best leagues in Europe. It's not in the level of Italy, Spain, and Greece, but after that, it's equivalent to France, for example.
The style of play over here is different than in America or when I was in Puerto Rico. You have to run the offense all the way through. Whereas in America, you come down more one-on-one, more get to the basket, more, coming down fast break, pulling up, shooting within the first 5 seconds of the shot clock. But over here, you have to run the shot clock down, make sure you get a good shot every time, play tough defense, get back against fast break. Our coach, that's all he preached about. Get back against fast break, play defense. That's the only thing he care about.
In addition to native Israelis, undrafted and free agent players from Europe and the US compete in the league as an alternative to the NBA.
A lot of American players, good American players. In every team there is 5 Americans, which it means that a lot of players from the second and third level that didn't achieve NBA or they are almost NBA prefer to come and to play here in Israel.
The league is comprised of 12 teams. The top teams at the end of the season compete in a Final Four style tournament for the championship.
The teams are not playing in Europe, play once a week. Monday, it's a day off. And then from Tuesday to Sunday, we practice every day, and some of the days twice in a day. And they have a weights program, and they have individual work on the floor in the mornings. So we work twice in a day, basically.
Maccabi Tel Aviv is both a Super League and European powerhouse. As annual contenders, they've won 48 Israeli national championships. No team in the league comes close.
They got tradition. It's something that they built for many years. In the last 15 or 20 years, they are in the top of the Israeli basketball.
Jerusalem, has been right there behind them for I don't know how many years.
And they're building every year a good team with good Israeli, good local players, and they add good Americans. And when you put it all together with the fans, and they support the team very well, and sometimes they're like the sixth player of the team.
Ashkelon is a good team. Galil Elyon, Rishon LeZion, and Bnei Hasharon. This is the team in our level.
Maccabi Haifa had a Cinderella-like season last year. Joining the league for the first time in over 10 years, Haifa made the playoffs, battled past a tough and established Jerusalem squad in the Final Four, and faced Maccabi Tel Aviv with a chance to take the championship.
Last season, nobody counted us, nobody thought that we can achieve something. We were the newcomer to the league, so usually they're not expected.
We're a kind of new team, and we have lots of young players, so we need to add them into our system. And it's not process that take one day. It's take sometimes weeks, months.
I truly think we're better than last year. I think our defense is I think our defense is pretty good. I think we probably got more scoring abilities. We've got a lot of shooters. So our main thing is just defense and get everybody on the same page on defense, and hopefully we'll be able to win it this year.
Coming up, life's a beach at times for these two American players in Haifa. Todd Golden may be an American from Arizona, but he holds an Israeli passport, which allows him to play in the league as an Israeli. This fact actually gives Coach Ashkenazi a lot of flexibility when it comes to the two Israelis on court rule for each game. In just his second season with Maccabi Haifa, Todd Golden has excelled. A Jewish American, Todd made Aliyah in order to play as an Israeli citizen. As a former college standout for St. Mary's NCAA tournament team, it initially took Golden some time to adjust to the Israeli style of basketball.
My first year, it took me a while, to be honest. It's a completely different game than the American game. The thing I had to work on the most was definitely stepping my game up to the physicality compared to college. These guys over here are men, they're all men, and you just have to be able to step up to the challenge and prepare yourself.
Another second-year standout is U.S. big man Ben Strong. He is of Native American descent by way of the Chippewa tribe and the first ever to play in Israel. A Division III college star in the States, Strong was forced to change his low post in the paint approach to the more perimeter style used in Israel.
Here, there's a lot of big guys stepping out on the perimeter, and back home I just had to sit in the paint and block shots and get rebounds. That was really the biggest difference for me. This summer I really tried to work on just concentrate on making simple moves, that are effective because I've got the height to use.
The two young men have not only made adjustments to their game, but to their lifestyles. Well, sort of.
I like Haifa. It's a really nice city on the beach. It has a lot of great food.
They have all the stuff that you can get in the States, really. You can get steaks, you can get chicken, you can get whatever meat you want, sandwich meat. Would you ever think that you'd be able to get this in Israel? This is the best cereal on the market. You can get this here.
My first thoughts were just like,
what is this? Because I'd never left the country, so of course I'd never seen like signs in a different language.
I'm very English friendly, so basically I just kind of don't worry about the price and just get the food.
Just little small stuff like that. Little cultural things were like, the biggest differences for me.
As you can see right here, man, this is the beach. This is the Mediterranean Sea. This is as beautiful as it gets, and we're lucky to have this every day out here while we're hooping. You guys put us through a tough workout right there. We weren't really expecting that. Now it's time to go eat right there.
Can I get an egg and cheese?
Egg and cheese?
Yeah, a glass of water.
Glass of water?
Yeah. Can we just get a pitcher of water?
Yeah, like a big thing.
Okay.
Great. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All the waitresses and servers and people who are at the restaurants know how to speak English, so we don't have to buff up on our Hebrew that tough, even though Ben is very close to being fluent in Hebrew.
Good stuff. I know about maybe 6 or 7 words in the... Ooh, buddy.
Awesome.
That'll do it for this edition of Inside Israeli Basketball. We'll be with you each month throughout the Israeli Super League season. I'll see you in January. Thanks for joining us.